You are now listening to Mike's Opinion, Logic Unleashed.
That's right. You are now listening to the Mike's Opinion podcast. Thank you so much for listening. How are you? How are you doing? You doing all right? You chilling? You having a hot boy, hot girl, hot man, hot woman summer? I hope you're doing all right out there. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're doing it well. Doing it well. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Uncle LL Cool J. So I just want to preface this. Yeah, I know I like to keep it happy. I like to keep it light. I'm going to put my glasses back on. I'm going to take them off right now. But this is a pretty serious episode. Okay? I wouldn't advise listening to it with young children. And regardless what is said today, I'd like you to do your best to keep a positive outlook. It's going to be hard to do, but nevertheless, we can do it. Okay? So like I said, I hope you're doing okay. Buckle up because there's some things happening on our planet Earth. This is why I chose this background today. The Earth, you see our planet right there? Yeah. Well, she might be getting ready to just say, you know what? I'm done with humans. And you say, yo, Mike, what you talking about? I'm talking about potentially the end of the world as we know it. And you go, yo, for real? Yeah, for real. Now, I don't know what side of the climate change debate you might be on. You know, because us humans, right, we always got to pick a side. Either you're on the left or the right. Either you conservative or you liberal. Either you Republican or you Democrat. Either you're black or you white. Or you're this or you that. And it's the same. It's no different with climate change, right? Either you're a climate change denier or you're a climate change believer. And then there are climate change activists, like the young girl Greta Sundgren, and I don't quote me on her name. I know her first name's Greta, but she just got arrested again, I believe in Sweden, protesting at oil companies. She got fined, released, and went right back. They don't know what to do with Greta. Okay. Because there are people all over this world, activists that are sounding alarms. They're throwing stuff on art. They're shutting down roadways. They are trying to get people's attention. Now, you might say, they tripping, man. It's just hot. It ain't, it ain't nothing different. Oh, no. We here at the Mike's Opinion podcast, this dude is always objective, right? I try my best to wade through the noise and get to the facts of the matter. So before I even start spitting facts from NASA and other sources, okay, and recent activities that's going on right now, I'm just going to share with you my personal experience. I never say my exact age. I'm not going to say it today. It's easy to figure out. I ain't hard to find, but I'm in the last bit of my mid 50s. I'm about to cross over into the late 50s. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. So I've been around for a minute, over half a century. And by the way, shout out to the Kunkles. I'm drinking, and y'all be like, what? Inside joke, but shout out to them because I'm drinking some liquor they gave me. And I'm not drinking because of the situation, even though it can't hurt. But it was in there. And, I don't know, lately I just don't sleep well. So I take a nightcap every once in a while, and it helps me sleep because I'd rather do that than have a pharmaceutical choice. But so if you see me sipping, yes, that's liquor. And yes, that's what I'm doing. But my own personal experiences. So many of you know, those that follow me, and shout out to those that do. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much. Please continue to support the show. If you are a first-time listener, thank you, or watcher on YouTube, thank you for doing that as well. I ask everybody, please support the show, like, share, comment, follow, subscribe. If you got a few dollars in your pocket, there's a GoFundMe, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Any contribution to support this show and help this show grow is greatly appreciated. Anybody that knows me and knows this show know I grew up in New York City. Okay, born and raised in the streets of Harlem and the Bronx. And I remember when pigeons and sparrows is like the main birds in New York City. The pigeons, like you just take a step towards them, they will fly away quickly. As I grew up, I watched that fear of humans diminish. Like diminish greatly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you could kick a pigeon. You could punt a pigeon if you wanted to. Now, I've never done anything like that. I was getting ready to share a story I read today about people going in the pet store and doing horrible things, but I'm not going to do that because I started thinking about pets. But it all has to do with something that I always called an expeditious evolution. There used to be this host on this show called Coast to Coast named Art Bell. Rest in peace, Art Bell. Shout out to George Norrie, I think, who's still doing it. But Coast to Coast AM, I used to listen to that show all the time. And he called it the quickening. And it's a theory based that everything is speeding up, everything's getting faster, birds are evolving, every creature on earth is evolving. Like tonight, my wife and son and I, shout out to Wifey, love her to death. We go for a walk. We try to walk every day. We're on this crazy schedule now. So we was walking at midnight tonight. And we just go for a mile, maybe sometimes 2 miles, just to get a little exercise in. And so my wife, we were walking and she came close to like stepping on this locust. Now, like I'm in the South, right? We ain't locusts in New York, so I'm bugging already, right? My son is like, no to any insect that flies anywhere. And my mom's is like that too. But so, yo, I'm telling you, I know y'all be like, yo, Mike, you bugging. I'm not bugging. This locust was pissed that my wife almost stepped on him. And he was like, ree, ree. And it was clear that this bug, now locusts they're about, I don't know, a couple inches. They got these hard shells. They really kind of scary to look at. Like if a locust was the size of a Volkswagen, we all be fucked up. But yo, let me tell you, this locust was like they make noises. We hear them, right? Matter of fact, shout out to the Kunkles again. They was just over here. They just relocated to another state, but he had picked one up off the wall and squeezed. He said he can make it scream. He squirrels it and then put it back on the wall. But this locust was clearly pissed. Like, don't step on me. Like, watch out. Like, you could just tell this communication was like back up. And I know y'all like, yo, Mike, you bugging. You telling me the locust said, yo, back up. I'm telling you, this is what happened. Y'all know my friends call me Dr. Doolittle. I can communicate with animals. They don't speak English like the Dr. Doolittle movie, but I understand. And if any of you are my pet lovers out there, shout out to you to take good care of your pets. But pets, they can be happy, sad, they laugh, cough, fart. They do everything just like we do. A lot of people think, oh, it's just a dumb animal. It's not. And I know y'all like, yo, Mike, you digress. I digress. Y'all know that, but it's all connected. It's all connected. So if you think about like the road rage and the shootings, like it's ramping up. You can feel it in the energy, like that Phil Collins song. And I'm not going to sing to you, but I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Then them drums drop. Well, if you're paying attention, if you read, if you do just a little bit of research, it is my opinion, Mike's opinion, where logic is unleashed here, that it is clear and evident that something environmentally is happening right now on our planet. The earth is getting hotter. humans, insects, animals, everything is moving in a direction, and I dare say exponentially quicker. So think about teenagers of the 70s and teenagers today, or the early 20s. And this is not age shaming in any way or form, but if you look at your common, I don't know, 15, 16-year-old, they are texting at a rate that is insane. And they are addicted to these screens. I have seen many videos. One that comes to mind right now, teacher took the phone from this girl and she beat his ass. She snapped. You try to take a phone away from a teenager, it is their life. They're addicted, and they consuming information at a rate per second that I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but they're consuming, texting, watching this, doing that, and TikTok. Like they attention span is on blast. Think about that for a second. How's that going to affect the world? How's that going to affect them as adults? And you say, yo, Mike, ain't this about climate? Yes, that too. But it's all connected because the climate affects us. So I'm going to throw my glasses on because I got a little information that, like I said, I was going to share with you. And I have my notes here. I'm gonna read several quotes. Okay, this one is, all of these are recent, very recent, last week or so articles. Okay, maybe even the last month. This was from NASA. And I quote from their website: "The current warming trend is different because it is clearly the result of human activities since the mid 1800s, and it is proceeding at a rate not seen over many recent millennia. It is undeniable that human activities have produced the atmospheric gases that have trapped more of the sun's energy in the Earth system. The extra energy has warmed the atmosphere, ocean, and land, and widespread and rapid changes in the atmosphere, ocean, cryosphere, and biosphere have occurred," end quote. So y'all know me, right? Especially those that follow me. So when I read that, the first thing I thought, and y'all know, like I said, logic is unleashed here. Y'all know how I think. I thought, let me check out the levels of atmosphere. And there are 5 major ones. And I'm going to read them to you, and then I'm going to tell you something else about them. So there's the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. And that goes from lowest to highest, respectively. Now, what you know, probably may know or may not know, is that our Earth, think about it as a marble, the Earth, the planet itself, and is encapsulated in glass. And that glass is our atmosphere. And while we need a certain amount of thrust to punch through the atmosphere to leave the Earth, air and atmospheric pollutants get trapped in this atmosphere. So when you think about, I don't know, last 100 years, last 200 years, since the 1800s, many more cars, many more buses, many more trucks, more cows, more factories, more everything. And all of these things send up pollution. All of these things affect our atmosphere. It's just logical. Forget all the science behind any of this. If you just are a logical, practical thinker, if you say, okay, our numbers in population continue to grow by the billions, Takes more energy to live, takes more energy to house, takes more energy to feed. More, 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 more. So, just on that standpoint alone, to think that earthlings have not affected the atmosphere is asinine to me. So, these deniers, and most of these deniers that I've seen, and I'm not making this political in any way, but are just people that are so profit driven, are so money driven that they really can't see past the money. But what good is all the money if you don't have no earth to spend it on? If the entire system is broken down and your $5, your $20, your $1,000,000, your $1,000,000,000 means nothing. And what really means something is clean water or clean food or clothes to wear or safe shelter. I am not Nostradamus. I am not a proven predictor with a track record of predictions. But listen to me closely, because this is really Mike's opinion, me, Mike, giving you a warning. And I don't know what you can do to prepare. I'm not going to tell you. There are doomsday preppers out there. But just like many other things have been a surprise, the attack on Pearl Harbor, the attack on the World Trade Center was a surprise to the vast majority of us. If there is a catastrophic environmental event like the pole shifting or something along those lines, I'm not a climate scientist. I don't know that there's much any of us can do. It'll be a mass extinction event. Now, I was going to do an episode today that's coming up soon on a lot of Guinness World Records that I found strange, but I want to do it with my son because it was his idea to do the episode. And it's time for me to do another episode with my son. So I have grandchildren, I have a young son. The last thing I want to see is this earth go away or for something catastrophic to happen. So we need mass concentration, all of us, to do our best, recycle and think positive and get Gaia, which a lot of people call Earth Gaia, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, to be kinder to us and to spare us. But I don't think that's likely. Today, this episode drops on July 26th, Wednesday. You know, I drop every Wednesday, right about noon. Temperatures at a reef managed by the Florida Aquarium were 91 degrees July 6th. The coral was completely healthy then. But when aquarium teams returned July 19th, less than 2 weeks later, all of the coral was bleached and an estimated 80% of it was dead. Another report from the Coral Restoration Foundation found 100% coral mortality at the Sombrero Reef off the coast of Marathon in the Florida Keys. I don't know if you read this because it is breaking news. But all around Florida, down in the Keys, the corals are dying. The temperature of the water has never been measured as high, over 100 degrees. There are fires, there are heat-related deaths and causalities going on right now. This summer 2023 is breaking records all over the place. So hear me when I tell you, I don't know what the tipping point is. And I am not trying to scare you. That is not the point of this episode. The point of this episode is to make you aware and to share the things that I have noticed and that I have found, because it's real and it's happening. My understanding, if the North and South Pole shift again, because they have before, earthquakes, the likes that we've never seen, tidal waves, tsunamis. I mean, total, ultimate devastation. Now, you can go down the rabbit hole if you start researching this. And a lot of times I normally do that when I'm researching. I didn't. I stopped myself from doing that. Um, there are videos and information that says governments know it's coming. They've known it's coming for a while and they've prepared. One way you know, if they know, if suddenly a bunch of powerful people or world leader people say they're going on vacation or they disappear, if this happens all at once, like in a very short time, in a few days, maybe a week, like you see a bunch of rich people, a bunch of world leaders disappear from the public eye. Like I said, I don't know. We ain't, most of us don't have no bunker. Most of us might have 10 cans of canned food. We don't have water purification. We don't have these things to save ourselves. So we're going to be victimized by this. You know what I'm saying? Um, as you know, coral, or may not know, coral is very, very sensitive to temperature. Um, I, it's very hard. Just today, there was another video that, and I'll just tell you the title. It was study July global heat waves. July global heat waves virtually impossible without human caused climate change. Now we've been hearing this term climate change, for a long time, right? And you say, yo, what is climate change? Well, you know, there was a climate change about over 10,000, about 11,000 years ago. Okay, now you think 11,000 years, it's a long time ago, right? While Earth's climate has changed throughout its history, the current warming is happening at a rate not seen in over 10,000 years. Also from NASA, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, since systemic scientific assessments began in the 70s, the influence of human activity on the warming of the climate system has evolved from theory to established facts. That's from NASA. It's not from me. It's not from some dude. These are from scientists. And this scientific information, part of it is taken from ice cores. Ice cores. You know what an ice core is? It's a chunk of like an iceberg, which is like a time capsule. And they dig down with like this diameter pipe and they can pull out the core. And they have layers, just like a tree has rings. It can tell you year by year by year what happened. Rocks, tree rings, satellites, and other instruments, they all show something is happening. Not just your normal temperature fluctuations, not just your average variations. It's extreme and it's getting worse. So just like I mentioned Pearl Harbor and the tragedy of 9/11 being surprises, one day, whether we're asleep or awake, whether you're at work, at the gym, if all of a sudden the sky changes color, the ground starts shaking apart, and we don't know what's happening, that is what may be happening. So consider this a PSA, a public service announcement from the Mike's Opinion podcast to you. Like I said, I don't have the solution. I don't know what you can do. And real talk, I don't have the ability to protect me and mine either. I'm going to try to find out who the nearest bunker owner is. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to do that after I finish recording this episode. So I go knock on the door and say, let us in. If you won't let us in, let my son in. Let my son and my wife in. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's ever going to happen. The sun, they say, is going to burn out in 1 billion years. They say we could get hit by an asteroid. At the end of the day, we all mortal. The end comes for all of us, whether it's natural causes or some other means. So that's just a fact of life on Earth. We know that, right? So like I said, don't be alarmed. Don't cry. Don't worry. But if you have the means to prepare, and preparation comes in many forms. It could be just mentally. It could be spiritually, psychologically. It could be physical. Maybe you're a rich person that listens to the Mike's Opinion podcast. You really hadn't thought about it. You've seen the preppers or whatever. I think it'll be money well spent to have a new Noah's Ark, a version of that. And like I said, if I think, and of course this is pure speculation, but I want to say virtually certain, but that's always such a contradiction in terms. I want to say I'm pretty certain. That's the same as virtually, right? I don't want to commit to it because I can't say I'm certain because I have no proof. Let me put it this way. I would be surprised if there aren't already people, and I'm talking established governmental entities, because who are government? It's just people, right? And of course, private sector people, civilians, as we refer to them, that are prepared and have contingency plans in place. Maybe they perhaps practice. Like, remember how I used to do fire drill in school? Maybe they've run these drills. If the earth starts shaking, hop in a helicopter. How soon does it take to get the helicopter to the underground facility or the mountain facility? Or maybe they leave in the earth. Maybe they got the space facility or the underwater facility. I don't know. But I would be willing to wager that there are those that are prepared as best they can be. Because even if you're embedded in a mountain and the whole earth crust move, I don't know if you're going to be safe there either. I have a bunch of other stats and quotes here, but honestly, I think that's enough for you to get the point that I'm making. So for the record, once again, I will state the Mike's Opinion podcast believes that climate change is real. I think the evidence is clear and not hard to find. I think something is going on right now. Hopefully, this is one of the activities that are going to continue to increase over summers, and we'll see the more extreme weather, more coral reefs dying, but we are not at the precipice of an extinction level event. That is my hope. I want you to hope with me. put out these mental vibes, like I said, to the earth. I believe in the power of the mind. And if you believe, you can achieve. So let's put out positive vibes out there. And that, we don't want this to happen. And I get on everybody in my family, everybody. I ask, do you recycle? Recycle. And I know there's it ain't a perfect system. I get it, but it's a help. It's a chance. It's a contribution is what it is. It's doing something, conserve wherever you can. Do that for planet Earth. Now, I know there's a lot of Earthers out there. I love y'all, trying to be y'all, trying to consume less and contribute positively more, to our Earth and lower the carbon footprint and do all of these things that I know to do. I want to get a bunker, y'all. So those rich people that listen to this show, invite me to your bunker. Show me how to build a bunker. Fund a bunker for me and my family. We're worthy of the new Noah's Ark. We're good people. So that would be greatly appreciated. Keep your sense of humor. Keep smiling. We got to take the good and the bad and the ugly in terms of information, right? But I just felt compelled to make this episode today based on things that I've been reading and what's going on in our environment. Like I said, there are things going on. Do your own due diligence, your own research, and you can read things that are going on our surface, in our oceans, in our air. You can find out for yourself. So do that. Once again, I ask you to please support the show. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment. Be greatly appreciated. The Mike's Opinion Podcast, we want to bring positivity to the world. Now, this episode may not have been that, but it's meant to be that. Okay? And as always, I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing okay. And I hope you're not saying, yo, Mike, how can I be okay now? You said the world's about to end. And I'm not sure that. I mean, one day it's going to, right? Hopefully we have millennia. That's what I hope. But I do hope you're all right. And if you're not okay, find a pathway to okay. Find a way to be okay. And I hope you're better than okay. I hope you're doing great. I really do. I'm Mike. This is the Mike's Opinion Podcast. Thank you so much for listening and watching on YouTube.
Thank you so much for listening to Mike's Opinion. Logic Unleashed.